I think this topic is gonna hit you in a spot that you didn't expect. Because somewhere along the lines, society has told us and created that if we don't have a big friend group, if we don't have a lot of friends, if we don't have big birthday party celebrations or Friday night hangouts or group picnics, we're somehow a failure. Not even a failure, but people assume that something's wrong with you. Most importantly, and I hear this all the time, that people think that there's something wrong with themselves. But I want to push back on that, okay? We go through seasons. Having a few friends here and there, them dropping off the face of the earth, them coming back into our lives, maybe we just don't have any friends at all, is not an automatic red flag. It's not something that you should feel bad about. This video is not about glorifying isolation. It's about unlearning shame that you have around it, and also a few skills I'm going to give you about how to actually make friends if you do want them. And if you don't want that, just skip that part, okay? I don't know about you, but I had an extremely difficult time relating to people and feeling understood with friends and girls. So I really gravitated towards guys, and because guys, they just liked how I looked, so it became easier to make friends this way. And for so long, I carried such shame of not having female friends. And then something just clicked, honestly, in my 20s. And I have so many female friends now. And I want to tell you how that happened. It was crazy to all of a sudden go from like never having any female, like true female friends in my life to all of a sudden having multiple friends. But also, I literally can go anywhere and make a friend. And that is a skill I did not have before. You know, there's also this thing of being around so many people, being around so many friends, and not feeling seen. There's like a song that's like, I'm dancing in the club, but I feel so alone. And I think that probably speaks to so many people, not just in the club, but in life. For example, you can be living in New York City, and I hear this all the time. People living in New York City, they feel so lonely, even though it is one of the most populated cities. You can connect with one person and feel more seen and more heard than 100 people sitting in front of you. And then there's the people where they just have no friends and they don't know why, and they carry a lot of shame about this. I want to unpack this. I want to address it. I want you to leave this video feeling like you don't have to be so afraid, that you don't have to feel so afraid, that you don't have to carry that shame with you. Because I think a majority of the time, it's not necessarily about having a friendship, but it's for a social media aspect of appearing well connected. And I know, you probably do want friends. You probably do want somebody to go out for the weekend or to hang out with. And I can tell you now that if you want that, you can go get it. And I know it's easier said than done, but I literally mean that. I talk about this in my other videos where everything is mindset, and having friends is really about mindset, because human connection matters and humans need human connection. But your worth isn't measured by head count. It isn't measured by how many friends you have and how many friends you don't. It doesn't matter if you appear tagged on so many photos or you don't, or you're posting that this weekend you're going to a club with a group of friends, or you're going for your Sunday brunch. And what I'm trying to say is that there's a distinction here. Are you feeling solitude and are you okay with it? Or are you isolating and it's actually hurting that you're isolating? It's hurting that you don't have friends. Those need different responses here. And it's worth being really honest with yourself. There's so many different types of friendships, and there's so many things I've already said that I don't even think I can tell you everything about friendships, about relationships, with friendships, with everything about friends. But I just want to say this so clearly, that it's okay that you don't have friends right now. But that doesn't mean that you don't get any. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve friends. It doesn't mean that it's not possible for you to have friends. And I've personally carried that shame of feeling like I don't deserve them or I'm not good enough for them. So I think telling you this is something that I want you to know like so well. And what clicked for me, what changed, I don't even know how. Like I do know how, but like it literally was mindset. Like all of a sudden I was like, I want a friend. And I went out and I got a friend. And people say this all the time, like they struggle to get boyfriends or they struggle to get girlfriends and stuff, but it's literally a mindset. If you're like, And I say this in my other videos of like, if you want money, like go out and get money. I don't mean rob a bank, okay? Please do not do that. But I mean like survival instincts kick in and you're like, I need to start doing DoorDash. I pick up a shift at a bar. I do this, I do this, I do this. And it's the same for relationships and friendships. If you want a friendship, go out and get one. You can look at my other videos, but I was traveling around Europe for 4 months. I made like over 100 friends and like got to the point I don't even remember some of their names. But I did manage to get a few handful of really, really close friends. And when I came back to the US, I kind of like drifted away from these friends for a bit. And for once in my life, I didn't feel shame for not having friends that I talk to every day because I realized that if I wanted a friend, I can go out and make a friend. And that was a huge turning point for me of it's not the fact that I can't make friends because everyone can go and make friends. I've been here in the US for a few months. I started getting my head again and I was like, maybe I can't make friends. Like maybe I'm like not good anymore. And one day I actually like went out. I decided like I'm going to make a friend. And that day I got a girl's Instagram. We hung out. Like I made a friend. She follows me. She likes my stories. She likes my posts. We text, okay? So it's about deciding. It is literally about deciding when and how you want friends, how many you want, and how close do you want them to be to your life? Like, do you want them to know everything about you? Is that something that you're searching for? Because if that is, then that's possible. Another like big thing I did was I was really, really bad at conversation and I legitimately was like a guy and I didn't know how to talk to girls because I just wasn't into like makeup. I wasn't into any of that. And so I really had to find my like niche in a way. I had to find my people, which I'm really into running, which means I connect with a lot of girls who run. But there was also this feminine side of me that didn't come out because I was afraid of it. And once I kind of like let that feminine side of me out, as cringe as that sounds, I really connected with so many girls when I started traveling specifically. And after that, it's just been like, if I want friends, I just go out and make friends. I think another really big aspect that clicked for me was that a lot of girls, a lot of guys, they want friends too and they don't have friends. And if you think about it, a lot of people are just scared to make friends. So if you can be that first person that steps up and goes and talks to that person, that's so cool. You could make a friend and you could make the other person want to go make friends too. You could be the bigger person. Another little tip for making friends is, I don't want this to be like so cringe, or sound so desperate. But when I was traveling around, if I like stayed at a hostel where there weren't so many people, or where I stayed at a lot of hostels where the majority of them were guys and I really wanted girls to go like to clubs and dancing with, I either went on pub crawls, and to be totally honest, I would get like really, and that would make it so easy to make friends. When you can make friends with like everybody and anybody. That also like really helped me develop in a way, social skills. And then another part of my travels is I downloaded an app called Bumble, and there's also like other friendship, like BFF apps that you can connect with. And I really did this because, like I said, like there were times where there were only like a few people out, or I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone anytime, but like I didn't know anyone or there were only guys in my hostel and stuff. So I used the app and I would literally like swipe and connect with every single person when I arrived in a destination, or I would put my destination ahead of where I'm going to be and like swipe like crazy and match with so many different girls to hang out with. I met up with a lot of girls that way. It was crazy because when I would meet up with those girls, almost every single girl I met, they had never gone out like on a Bumble date, friendship date. It was not a date, okay? But like they had never met with another girl from Bumble. And that was wild to me because these girls, like they lived like where I was visiting and they struggled too. And every single time I would meet a girl too, they would tell me how they struggle meeting friends. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not crazy here. So just so you know, you are not alone. You are not alone in how you feel And there is no shame to admit that it's hard for you to make friends, that you want to make friends, or that you don't have any friends. Not only because I've been there and because I understand completely, maybe not completely, but a really good part of it, you deserve friends. And if that's something that you want, then you can go get that. And it is literally just mindset shift. I want to end this video with that you're not alone. I understand. There is no shame in not having friends. And if you're somebody who just likes cats and just wants to be at home with your cat, there is no shame in that. Like, that is, you do you. Like, and you don't have to prove that to anybody. You don't have to show that to anybody. You don't, I mean, you can show that to everybody if you want, but there's no shame in that. Like, you do you. If that's what makes you happy, then there is no shame in what makes you happy. And I also just want to say that if you do want friends, you can choose to have friends, and it is literally mindset, and it is literally you choosing to have friends, just like it's you choosing to invest your money, just like it's you choosing to get a job, just like it's you choosing to protect your body, just like it's you choosing to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You choose, and every day you can show up and choose. And I think so many people in their 20s, in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, like, they struggle to make friends. More than 50s, okay, I'm just saying that. They struggle to make friends, and or they're alone. And if it's okay with you, it's okay with me, it's okay with the rest of the world. And I can tell that for you. I can say that for you, that because nobody cares. At the end of the day, nobody cares as long as you're happy, because you matter the most in this world. Not in an ego way, okay? Have empathy, have sympathy for people. It's important. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end it here. This has been my longest, most honest out there thing. I want you to know that I believe in you, and keep showing up every day for yourself. Keep loving yourself, and everything that you want will come and it will follow. Bye, guys.